If you beat everyone else, but you are not better than who you were yesterday, did you really win? I've always been a very competitive person. Back in school, topping the class gave me a strong sense of pride and fulfillment. I recall the first time my teacher made a computation mistake and placed me second instead of first. I was so upset. I followed it up until it was corrected. That's how fiercely competitive I was. But as I grew older, my perspective began to shift. Back then, I was focused on the position on my report card. As long as I was first, I was satisfied. But now, I realized that my orientation was flawed. I was judging my performance based on the performance of my peers. But you see, each time I went out to represent my school in a competition, that's when I realized I was a local champion. That's when the loopholes began to surface. I was the best in my school, but I hadn't stretched myself enough to see what was truly possible. I was recently speaking to a little girl who proudly told me she came first in her class. I congratulated her, but I also told her something that most people wouldn't. You came first in class, and that's fantastic, but that's not the most important thing. What matters more is this: are you better than you were last term? See beyond the position and take a closer look at the difference between your performance last term and this term. That's where the real data is. If you came first, but your overall score dropped, that's not progress. But if you didn't come first and your score improved significantly, that's growth. I'm currently taking a course with a weekly leaderboard where participants are placed in different leagues based on performance. I've competed in and even won the highest league multiple times, so I know the level I'm capable of operating at. At some point, I dropped to a lower league and I came first. But interestingly, that first position didn't mean much to me because I knew I didn't belong there. I knew I could do much better, and that's the mindset we should adopt. The rise or drop in your performance has nothing to do with your peers and everything to do with you. You can't control how well or poorly other people perform, and frankly, that shouldn't be your business. However, your own performance is completely up to you. This analogy also applies in everyday life. There are people who derive pleasure in putting other people down just to make themselves feel better. Some people feel good about themselves simply because they are doing better than someone else. Others feel bad because they are comparing themselves to people ahead of them. Both are distractions, because whether someone is ahead of you or behind you, it doesn't change your reality. The truth is simple. The real competition isn't with anyone else. The real competition is with yourself. You can admire others. You can learn from others. You can even be inspired by others. But you should never measure your worth based on others, because there will always be someone ahead of you and someone behind you. That never changes. So instead of looking outward for validation, start asking yourself better questions. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Do I know more today than I did yesterday? Am I using more of my potential today than I did yesterday? If the answer is yes, you are winning even if the world says you are behind. And if the answer is no, then you are losing even if the world says you are ahead. Take a moment and look in the mirror today. The person staring back at you, that's your only competition. This week, I'd like you to shift your focus. Stop looking sideways and start looking inwards. Raise your own bar. Do something, no matter how small, that makes you better than you were yesterday. Because in the long run, it's not the big things you do once in a while that change your life. It's the small things you do consistently. Beat that person in the mirror and you've already won. Until next time, keep being amazing. My name is Murphy Nnamdi Ochuba.